Hey YouTube, here's a guitar that I got about 6 months ago, maybe something like that, in Bathgate. Cool wee shop called, I can't remember what it's called. It used to be called the Purple Orange Amp Venue, Purple Orange Arts Venue, and then you kind of walk through a mad wee shop. It's actually got maybe twice as long as this room, and it's just, well, we walk through all these guitars, and then in the back there's a wee sort of venue. It's pretty cool. But so this is a Garant. I've not actually done a video for this one yet. And unfortunately, this was one of the ones that suffered from not having, I didn't put Elixir strings on it, so they're a bit crap. I think they're roto sounds, so they've gone a bit rusty because it's now 6 months old. So these were made in the early 80s, made in Japan. There's various, there's a bit of a link. My pal Wayne runs the Grant Guitars Sold in Scotland Facebook page. He's been doing some research into these. He's got a couple. He actually gifted me this one here because he had a doubler for it. So that's basically the same guitar but a 2 pickup version. This all stems from one that he found on, someone contacted the Facebook page from Glasgow, and had found one in a skip. It was basically this one single pickup model, apart from it was that colour. And when my pal Wayne was like, do you want to go and, do you want to make the guy an offer for it? And I was like, no, it looks pure crap. I don't want that. So eventually it worked out that he bought it off the guy, and he was going to get it posted and stuff. And I was like, well, I'll pick it up for you and send it down to you if you want, because the guy wasn't that keen on posting it. So I just picked it up on my way home from work one day, and that's kind of how I know my pal Wayne. We go to Download Festival together now. So that was a red one, which if you look back in my videos, maybe about 2 years ago, maybe about 3 years ago, you'll see maybe basically this in red, and it was like, I thought it looked absolutely shit, it really did. But what a guitar it turned out to be, absolutely amazing. I wish I had bought it, but now I've got a silver one instead. So as soon as I saw this silver one, this is only the second one of these one pickup ones I've ever seen. As soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to have that. So the discussion on these is that a 3-piece neck? It is. So it's a 3-piece laminate neck, like what's on the Aria Thor sound there. It's got quality, probably Goto tuners on it, an interesting headstock style. The pickup is I'd imagine a Goto Super Distortion. It looks very much like a DiMarzio Super Distortion, just a copy of it. It's got a Strat type trem on it, volume tone and a coil split switch. This one's got a sticker, a Zildjian sticker on the back. No serial numbers or anything like that. The thoughts on these are, you can get guitars by a maker called Yoshi, which look very similar to this, and they've got a similar headstock detail. But recently, someone in America has one. I don't think it's a single pickup. I think it might even be a set neck one, but it's a Martin guitar, and apparently Martin had attempted in the early 80s to make electric guitars, like import ones from Japan, and they never kind of went anywhere. So I'm not sure whether it's whether this is just copy of it's the same factory or the same design, but it looks very similar. The Yoshi ones I've seen have all been I think Wayne's got a neck through one and a set neck one, and they're sort of natural colours, and they kind of actually, well, I was going to say look a bit like that, but that's kind of like a matte. They're sort of shiny, look very expensive versions of this. I think these are sort of the budget end of whoever it was that made these guitars. But as I've said before, with the budget end of early 80s Japanese guitars, basically budget end means it's a solid colour and it's got less fancy bits on it, but it's still got the build quality of a very expensive guitar. I mean, these things are absolutely stunning. Yeah, so make some noise with it. This is with my rat pedal through my Lenny VC15. Sounds like some single coil. But he's a trend for ages. strings are a bit old rusty. Really good high fret access. I think that's what this shape is. It's really just kind of like a Strat, I suppose, with bigger cuts. But the neck is absolutely stunning. This is suffering from being in the attic. I'm going to give me a second to tune it. The bee, the bee. Try my Gojira effects. So no idea how many of these exist. I'm going to change on to the red one just because the strings on it are newer. No idea how many of these exist. I have seen, so there's that other red one with the single pickup. Wayne has, well, he had 2 of these. He gifted me this one. Unbelievably nice of him. And I've seen a bass version which was a sort of candy, the sort of, what's the word, sparkle, candy apple red, apart from it was turquoise. And I was like, oh, I wish I'd bought that. That was before. So basically what I want now is the turquoise one to complete the set. These were imported by Grant's Guitars, which were a shop in Glasgow and in Edinburgh, and there might have been a few kicking about Scotland. They used to import guitars, to get their own names stuck on them. So in the sort of late 70s, there's lots of Grant Les Pauls and Fender copies and things like that. I think he bought, the guy who ran the shop bought they were very similar to Ibanez guitars, but they had the cheapest hardware you could imagine, and it had a Grant Les Paul, and the hardware on it was pants. The guitar was actually pretty good. It was just the same as your sort of your standard Japanese 70s Les Paul. I don't know if they were plywood or not, but these are definitely a step up. These are early 80s proper rock machines. I don't imagine they sold very well because they're a bit strange looking. A lot of people don't like strange looking guitars. This is strange looking. Oh, so much nicer having extra strings. Actually, and I just dug this out the attic. I think I did a video for this one. This is an acoustic version of it, which looks very much like a Washburn Woodstock, but it's exactly the same colour as that, which I don't know, in this video it might look silver, but sometimes it looks gold depending on what the light is. It's obviously a neutral colour, so it looks, in fact it does look a wee bit gold. It looks green sometimes as well depending on what the light is. So if you ever see me selling any guitars, and you've got one of these lying in the garage somewhere because they're not worth any money, you want to trade in, I might be quite interested in that, especially if it's turquoise. And the consistency is obviously really good. This feels exactly the same as the silver one, apart from it's got rusty strings on it. It's got a neck pickup. Single coil down the way. Yeah, so if anyone remembers seeing these in the shops in the early 80s, and even better can give me a better year other than just early 80s, that'd be smashing. You know, give me a message. I figure seeing them in Glasgow, there was a shop here, so people might remember these. No idea what the cost it was from the new. No idea what the model names are, if they had model names. I think they might. The pickup says M2 on the back of it. In fact, I think I've done a video for this very one, maybe a year, 6 months ago when I got the guitar. In fact, was it last? Maybe even the year before. No, it was 6 months ago. This year's download I got this guitar. Got my line. So rock on, and basically early 80s Japanese guitars just seem to be just the absolute best guitars you can get. Just about. Especially if you're a cheap bastard like me. Man, it's a really nice guitar. Could be really good for pinch harmonics. I'm going to be doing all afternoon. I'm going to be playing this. It's just the quality of it, even just like, see just down to bits like the, I'm not sure I like the 2 volume controls to be honest, I like just having one, but just like the quality of the rosewood board and the frets and the neck, it's just so high on these. It's too strong as well. It really is, it's so high. This is a proper custom shop level guitar. I assume they weren't expensive, I don't know. Maybe they were £1,000 back in 1981 or whatever it was. Don't know. Rock and roll!